Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the third week. My name is Gary. I have Mr. Long Dr. Shaun Sproul, JB with us from the 10X group out in Long Island. And this is the third and final session. But of course, you can get more JB. You can reach out to him. I'll put his contact throughout this whole hour and a half kind of thing. All right. JB, I know you're in the car again. Thank you so much for spending time. Every day it's a holiday, so happy Memorial Day out there, everybody. But I think every barbecue people are at, they're usually on their phones anyway, so they'll be watching, tuning in, and
they better be watching.
Always, right?
Slow it down and listen. That's it.
Definitely. I was looking at some of last week's notes, and I just going over. Google yourself, get out there, making sure that you're, what does the world see on the internet about you now? Trying to change that up, and how to go virtual. It doesn't have to be perfect, Believe me, I know that more than anything. I'm trying to do these open houses that I get audio issues, light issues, dogs running through. So it's always something, but at least we keep trying and keep going virtual. That's the only way we're going to get to this new virtual world, right?
Absolutely.
And Shaun's been helping me out a lot, going pre-approvals, meeting people, and even doing that. They don't need to sign every paperwork kind of thing that JB talked about last week. Just get a verbal agreements and share documents, and really so we're not in a standstill. So we're not stuck doing nothing, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's good that you're rolling that way, because that's really the future. Speed is the new big. So how fast you can do is how big you're going to get these days.
Yeah.
Well,
when people are coming out of the gate, just starting up, thinking everything is standing still, we already have like a bunch of pre-approvals already, listing agreements, everything lined up. So we really get out there and take over. And that's the game plan, right?
Yeah. One thing I want to add to that is everybody, all the buyers are looking online. They're saving all the Zillows. They're saving everything that they like. And as soon as this whole world, or New York, I should say, really opens up again, everybody's going to hit the market very, very tough and strong. And you got to be ready for it. You got to be ready for it, because there's going to be so much business. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the best sayings I ever heard was, "Money's like a jealous lover. If you don't pay attention to it, they'll leave you for someone else who will." And in real estate, that's what's going on right now. If you're not paying attention to what's going on, the money's going to leave you for someone else who will. So do not just wait around thinking that, everyone's starting at the same place. Right now, a lot of people may have a big advance on you if you're waiting on the sidelines, waiting for the green light. The light never turned red.
Yeah.
Never does.
All right, JB, I'm going to, leave you to it. I know you have a lot of content for this last session. I know I'm always trying to cram a lot of content in. JB has a lot more stuff here. I just told him to try to make it, comprehensive. I know everybody, has now it's even shorter time attention, right? Time span. They just want to watch something quick and get it, but content is content, So we'll leave it to you, and we'll come back towards the end to wrap up.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Before I even get started, just want to wish happy Memorial Day, and special thank you to all the men and women who have served this country, one of the greatest forces for good this planet has ever seen, especially the ones who have made the ultimate sacrifice. After all, Memorial Day is about that more than anything else. So thank you for your service. Thank you for all right, just want to make sure service didn't get interrupted. There we go. So I thought a lot about how am I going to deliver in this short amount of time for you to understand what the future of the real estate agent is going to be. How is this really going to work? And then what can I leave you with that doesn't require talent? It doesn't require a lot. All it requires is commitment. So I want to give you a little preamble about what we're going to go over today. What I'm going to give you today is something that if you decide to actually implement it, within 24 to 48 hours, you will be doing better, feeling better, and definitely having a lot more in your business. It doesn't require talent, doesn't require warm-up. It just requires pure execution. You can do it, and you've done it before, and those are skill traits I'm going to leave with you. Before I give you that, though, I want you to understand the way this is going to look moving forward. Real estate has been an easy game for too long. And by that I mean, as far as the easy game, what you're starting to see is that in the real estate industry, there's a lot of people going out there, and because of the price points we're in the state of New York, can get lucky and make 100 grand a year, 80 grand a year by just doing a handful of deals. That's not going to be the case as we go on with this, because people's standards are going to go up significantly, and your ability to understand the market, be a professional salesperson, take it on to the next level is going to really be tested. So if you've been winging it, this is a good opportunity for you to understand that the winging part is over. Now it's time to really, really understand how this thing works. So you're going to need to make sure that you have an actual brand in place. You're going to make sure that you're professional in what you do, and you're going to have to make sure that you're very, very quick in how you go about handling your business. Like I was saying earlier, speed is the new big. So you have to make sure that everything is digital on a virtual platform where you can execute quickly. Now, I don't want to recap too much of what I said last week because Gary has it permanently online for you to be able to watch. So I'm going to go right into it on exactly the skill traits you need to ensure, guarantee that you do well. It's an absolute guarantee. You do this, you are going to be very successful in this business. Okay. So let me see if I can change the lighting up in here. Maybe I can get a little bit less. There we go. I'm trying to like block the sun here so you can see me better. So there's a few rules I'm going to give you, and I'm going to go over it like this. I'll tell you this right now. You've done it before, and if you did it every day, you would do really well. Okay. So number one, when you're in business, you got to show up on time. Here's the thing about showing up on time. When you show up on time, not only are you not flustered, but you're more competent. Because let's be real, most of the time when you're late, you say there was a lot of traffic, there was a lot of this, there was a lot of that. But the reality is most likely you probably woke up with more than enough time to get ready. You probably had more than adequate time and you wasted it somewhere, but you can't say that. So you make up something else. When you don't show up on time, not only are you not competent, your confidence goes down, and most likely you have to lie about the real reason why you're not on time. And when that happens, that's not good for you because it creates an integrity issue from within you that's very, very difficult to overcome. These small things are a big deal. I'll give you an example. If you get a ding on your car the size of a nickel, it probably won't affect the value of your car. But if you get 100 dings on that car, it's now totaled. Look what happens to a car in a hailstorm. When you start dropping the ball on these small things, you're adding a ding. And as you start adding more and more small mistakes in your business, these dings start to become big and they total you as a person, literally and spiritually speaking. So you need to make sure that you're on top of your game. Show up on time. So one, you show up with credibility, and two, you don't have to make up an excuse, which makes you a liar right away when you meet with someone. And you know you don't feel good when that happens. So you got to make sure, number one, things you show up on time. Two, dress for success. You're meeting with the client, don't dress the way you would when you meet your best friends. You want to dress for success when you do that. Now, here's the deal. I'm in a windbreaker right now. I'm rocking my brand, which is overexposed from the sunlight. But when I'm meeting with clients, 99% of the time in the suit, unless the culture calls for something else. Now, you've heard the saying, you can't judge a book by its cover. The reason why that saying exists is because everyone ends up judging a book by its cover. So I'll tell you one thing right now. You can't judge a book by its cover, but you can sell a shitload of books from the cover. The cover is very important. Do not ever underestimate the aesthetics that you actually have as a representation of the value and scenery of the places you're around. You know that when you look good, you feel good. When you look good, you don't mind your picture being taken. You don't mind being recorded. You don't mind meeting people. Your confidence level is higher. So not only is it a better image for your client, but it's a better feeling for you. So you got to dress for success, especially when you're in this business. You're in a very unique position where you don't have to climb a corporate ladder and take out a bunch of degrees and do a bunch of stuff. Where you're at right now, which is really, really awesome, is you're being trusted with people's number one asset, which is their real estate. They usually take their life savings to buy it. They use their credit and they leverage a lot of things, and they're trusting you to do that. Dress the part. You got to have some respect for your brand and also for your clients. And that's what you want to make sure you're doing is dress for success. These may sound basic, but these really are the secret to success. If you've ever met a mega agent, you'll always realize you're expecting this charisma and charm and the ability to speak so well and all this power. And you're like, wait, this is a regular guy. The difference is they're following these rules. I'm literally giving you the secret to success If you do these 18 things I'm going to tell you, you're going to be successful, guaranteed. But do it every day. Live by it. Okay, 3, be positive. Now I'm going to give you a drill about being positive. This is the way this works. You have to have a no negativity clock for 24 hours. For 24 hours, you can't have a negative thought. Not just in real estate, but in your personal life. Even if you're in traffic and you're like, damn, there's traffic, that's negative. Every single time you get negative, you got to restart that 24 hours of no negativity again. So if you don't hit 24 hours, at any point when you get negative, you got to restart the 24 hours again. This is going to help actually condition your mind to understand where's your thought process at, because everything starts up here. It's a simulation. You know, on a side note, a lot of adults, as they get older, they lose their imagination. That's a sin, because all your imagination really is a computer system. It's a computer system in your mind that simulates what's about to happen in real life. Think about it. When you go to eat food, what do? You imagine where you're going to eat from first, and then you go get it. You have to simulate it first. So if you're simulating negativity all day, don't be surprised that your life and your business isn't what it's supposed to be, because you're literally creating simulation. Your thought process is the first piece of creativity. This is not about just random positive thinking. This is about moving you forward in the right direction. Positivity is very, very, very important. Do not allow negativity into your mind. All negativity is propaganda. Propaganda, if you look back throughout history, has never led to anything good for this human race. And propaganda is negativity internally. When you say these things to yourselves, it's propaganda, it's lies, and it creates lots of issues in your life. So no negativity. Always come from a positive place. And the way you start conditioning that is start simple. I'm going to go 24 hours straight without having a negative thought. And within those 24 hours, if I get negative, I'm going to reset the clock. Try that, and you'll see that you're going to be able to have a lot more awareness. Now, you got to remember, business is very similar, and success is very similar to basically like learning guitar, okay? When you're learning guitar, the first step in learning guitar is not sounding like Jimi Hendrix. The first step in learning guitar is not sounding bad. So if you notice, if you've never played an instrument before, when you first start to play, your first piece of progress is you don't sound bad. You sound eh. Then from eh, you sound decent. Then from decent, you start to recognize the song they're playing and start to scale up and up and up to great. That's how these traits and these habits will happen. Don't think that you're going to go from 0 to hero. You're going to go from 0 to eh, to bearable, to decent, to good, to pro. So start to have that attitude when you do stuff. You're like, oh, I tried that script and tried to cold call. I don't sound like the guy I learned it from. Well, no shit. He's been doing it for 10 years. You've been doing it for 10 minutes. What did you expect? You have to look at it like you're learning an instrument. It's the beginning process. First, you just want to sound eh. And then eh is a lot better than nothing, which is what you were doing before. And scale up. It's okay. Not everything is overnight. Not everything is a magic pill. There is a certain level of discipline required for success. And the faster you learn that with these good traits I'm going to teach you, the quicker you'll get there. Okay. Number 4, have passion for everything that you do. Everything that you do, you should have passion when you do it. Have passion for the things that you're doing. Don't pretend you have passion either. Find something you really love about it. You know, some people, they say, I love real estate because I love to help people. Other people are deal junkies. They love the rush of the deal. They love hunting the deal, getting the deal, closing the deal, and they want to go get another one. And it really does a lot for them. The money's just a byproduct for that. But you got to find passion somewhere. Find passion in the people, in the deal, in the money. Find passion in things you'll do with the money. Find passion for however you're going to do it, but find it and make sure it's real, because when you work with passion, you get successful. If you're not working with passion, you're not going to be successful. Tell me anything that you don't like that you're really good at. So think about it. Have strong work ethic. That's number 6, guys. If you're taking notes, number 6 is have strong work ethic. When you have strong work ethic, what that enables you to do is it enables you to get stuff done really, really well. Now, imagine this. Here's the deal with having strong work ethic. That means that your product, what you say you're going to do or how you're going to execute it, means a lot to you. So when you're working hard, you're working for an outcome that works well because that's your ethic, not because you just want money. Anyone who works just for money tends to not have any, because that's not how this works. Work ethic is very important. If you said you were going to do 3 hours of cold calling, you're going to do 3 hours of cold calling. If you're going to follow up with every past buyer you ever had, that's what you're going to do. but you got to make sure your work ethic is in. Get that time in and get those results in, because if you're not doing that, you're not going to be successful. And again, it doesn't happen overnight. Remember it. Think about it as like learning the guitar. You're going to go from nothing to sounding kind of whatever. Then you're going to start getting decent and then bearable and start working your way up more and more and more. So that's the way it works. Don't just expect to be an expert overnight, but your work ethic is a big part of it. Okay? Number 7, give 100% effort in everything you do. You should not be leaving percentages on the table. You should not be taking the time to do something if you're not going to give 100% in the way you're going to do it. Keep that in mind. Why are you going to take the time to lead generate if you're not going to give 100%? That's worse than if you didn't lead generate to begin with. You've already taken the time. So put the effort in. Why are you going to take the time to pay for marketing but not follow up on those leads that come in, or not really develop the proper marketing plan? Why are you going to spend money to take out ads and then not follow through on those? Think about that. You want to make sure that you're putting in the right way of doing things. So give 100% on everything you have. This way you always know your work quality is excellent and no one's better than you. This is why if you go on a listing appointment, you can't overcome objections, because you actually know that there's agents that work harder than you, that are smarter than you in this, and that could probably do it better than you. Why? Because you're not giving 100%. And at the end of the day, you can lie to everyone you want. You can never lie to yourself. When you give 100%, you have a lot of confidence in what you say because you know it's real and it's the truth. Think about that next time you're putting something together. Remember that. Okay. 8, always start with positivity in your communication. You never, ever, ever want to start off with a negative jump start with something. You want to be real with it. So what I mean by that is, just because something's annoying you, your initial engagement with that thing has to come from a place of positivity, because it enables you to get better results, and also it enables you to communicate more effectively. I think we can all agree that if we like something, we tend to get along with it better and communicate with it better. And the best way to start off on the right foot, even if it sounds off, is to start on a positive note. Make sure you're doing that in all of your communication. Okay. 9, always go the extra mile. Generosity breeds more generosity. So if you promise someone something, deliver that and then give them more. Now, this is not under promise and over deliver. Under promise and over deliver is a scam. Because if you can deliver 10 to someone and you promise them 7, then deliver them 10, you're a liar. That's not under promise, over deliver. That's literally unethical. If you promise them 10, do 10 and then give them an extra 1 or 2. That's over delivering. So promise and then over deliver. Generosity breeds generosity. When you go the extra mile for people, they feel it, they see it, and they go the extra mile for you. You have no idea what going the extra mile every single day will do for you and your business. Guys, if you're following along the right way, you're not going to just implement this in business. You're going to implement this in your whole entire life, because that's where the success comes from. Okay, 10, be prepared so you always sound like a professional. Preparedness prevents problems. Some people are like, man, I wish I could learn to speak like that, or under, like, you know, how to handle objections, or what's that thing you do, the way, like, it's so smooth. It's because I'm prepared. You got to think about it. Same thing with anyone that you admire their flow. You're going to see that whenever you observe their communication cycles, it's not because they're a smooth talker. It's because they're prepared. If you're prepared, you don't need to practice. If you're just practicing something, that means that you're trying to find a shortcut to preparedness. Stop trying to be a smooth talker and be a smart talker. Prepare for your appointments. Prepare for your sales calls. Prepare for your marketing. Prepare for the objections. Understand what's going on. Be prepared, because when you're prepared and people ask you questions and you have the answers to them, you are very competent. But when you're trying to sound good or figure out the slick or smooth way of talking, you will always get caught up and not get what you want. If you want to be taken as a professional, number 1 advice is be prepared. That's the only way to do it. 11, show up. When you say you're going to do something, when you say you're going to be there, be there. And when I say show up, don't just physically be there. Show up with your efforts and your energy, not just physically there. Because at the end of the day, if you're showing up there physically but not emotionally showing up there, it's not going to work. You want to really show up when you go somewhere. So be there, in there, real time, present time, mentally, physically, spiritually, literally, be where you're supposed to be and develop it. When you're there, make sure you develop so many relationships, so many impressions that you do really, really well. 12, attitude is latitude. Bottom line is people are always going to look at you based off of your attitude. We all know that negativity is very, very, very contagious. But you know what else is contagious? Positivity. Positivity is even more contagious. You can set the precedence and the tone for the entire room or the entire group when you walk in. Your attitude is the latitude of that relationship and that conversation. So you need to make sure that you always have the right attitude. Keep in mind, it's contagious. Okay? It's more contagious than coronavirus. Too soon? Probably. Doesn't matter. It's more contagious than that. I'm serious. When you're positive, you create a good environment. People want to talk to you. They're excited to work with you. And they feel good because you feel good. So if you're going to make someone contagious, make that contagious and move that along, because your attitude is everything. 13, be adaptable and embrace change. Look, if you look throughout evolution, you'll see that the species that have constantly evolved are the ones that survive. You've probably heard Darwin's survival of the fittest. So the human race is very, very, very adaptable. A human being by itself may not be. Just because the race overall is adaptable doesn't mean an individual human being is. So you have to be very aware of what is your ability to adapt. Like, for example, during coronavirus, how quick did you adapt? Or did you sit in the sideline and wait to be told what to do? You have to analyze that and then recover from that mistake. Figure out what the real deal is. So you have to think to yourself, okay, what's the right way to go about this? How do I do this? Embrace change and then adapt to it, because your ability to adapt is directly contingent on your ability to survive. You need to be very, very, very maneuverable, very resourceful, and very able. And if you're not dynamic, especially in the world that we live in, how fast information flows and how quick everything changes, you will be left behind. Embrace change and be adaptable. Okay, 14, pay attention to the details. When you're in business, you have to think about this. When you pay attention to the details, you're able to really understand what's going on. Most of the things that are being an issue for you in your life are happening because you're not paying attention to the details. Think about this. How many times have you worked with a client and they said something, but your observation with your eyes were to see it differently? You're not paying attention to the details if you felt screwed over, because if you did, you would understand what you're dealing with from the beginning. Paying attention to details enables you to be very, very successful very quickly, because you can adapt quickly, you can actually understand quickly, and you can also find solutions quickly. If you notice, when you don't pay attention to details, things go wrong. I want you to think about this. In life, to control something, you have to understand what the definition of control is first. Control, the best definition for control is this: the ability to start, change, and stop. If you can start something, change something, and stop something, you can control it. Think about your car. I'm in a car right now. I can start the car, I can change lanes, I can stop the car. That's full control. Now, what if I couldn't steer the car or stop it? Even though I started it and we're moving, I have no control over the car. What do I mean by this? In life, when you're thinking about your personal life and your professional life, when it comes to control, if you don't have the ability to start, change, and stop the things in your life when you want, on your whim, what starts to happen is you will notice that you don't have bad control, you have no control. Because in life, you either have good control or no control. What percentage of your life has good control? Most of it might be under no control right now. When you pay attention to the details, you get more knowledge of it. And when you have more knowledge of something, you can take more responsibility for something. And once you've done that, you can finally control something. Keep this in mind. If something is out of your control, that's because you have little knowledge about it and you take no responsibility for it. You can only control things you're responsible for. So what that means is that you have to own something for you to be able to control it. If I'm sitting at a traffic light, someone rear ends my car, I'm going to take full responsibility for that. Not on the police report, but as a being, I'm taking responsibility for it. Why? Because I put my car there to get hit. Now, if I take that much responsibility, I'm not being hard on myself. It doesn't mean I deserve it either. It just means that I'm responsible. Because when I have full knowledge of what's going on and I take full responsibility, that means I can actually prevent the bad things from happening to me again. That means I can control the situation from happening again. When things just happen to me and I don't pay attention to the details, what starts to happen is we notice that things start to get rough and rough and rough, and we become effect. Things just keep happening to us instead of because of us. So pay attention to the details so you can get the knowledge and then take the responsibility, and then you can control it. That's for your life and your deals. 15, listen first. Before you start talking, you should listen. One of the best, if most effective traits of a good salesperson, of a good speaker, of a good anyone, is their ability to listen. You should do this twice as much as you do this, because this is giving you all the information you need to be able to do this properly. If you're talking a lot, that means you are not getting along with people. That means you're just talking at people. Most people that I've met that talk too much, it's because they've probably been in a household where everyone talks too much and they got to fight their way to get something out. But in the real world, most people will let you talk when it's your turn. You got to listen so you know who you're dealing with and who you're around. It's really, really, really important. 16, do what you say you're going to do. Integrity is not about you keeping the promises you tell other people. It's about you keeping the promises you tell yourself. Every single time you tell yourself you're going to do something and you don't deliver on it, you ruin your own confidence and your own ability, and you stop reaching as much. Literally. So if you tell yourself, hey, I'm going to go for a run this morning, and you don't go do it, forget about the health gains and all of that. Mentally, it's destroying you because it's jacking up your credibility and your confidence level start to go down. Most people's confidence level is down because what they're doing is that like they're thinking like, oh, my confidence level is down. And then what's starting to happen is that like, I don't know what to do. Your confidence level is down because most of the time you don't believe you can get it done because you don't keep the promises you do to yourself. So keep that in mind. Like the only way you're going to get confidence is to do what you say you're going to do. You're better off doing it not fully the way you planned than not doing it at all. You're going to go for a run. You run for 20 seconds and then walk for half an hour. That's better than not getting out the door. Be there. Do what you say you're going to do. You're going to make phone calls, make the calls. You're going to follow up. You're going to shoot that video for your promotion. You better shoot it because that's what you said you're going to do. When you start executing on what you say you're going to do, your confidence level will go sky high. 17, declutter. The more clutter you have, the more things you have to worry about, the harder it is for you to execute. Bottom line is that these things create some of the issues that are going on up here. If your physical environment is cluttered, your mental environment will become cluttered. You have a bunch of things that you need to get to that you don't touch to the point where it seems so overwhelming you don't know what to do. This is what I recommend for clutter. If you haven't looked at it in months, throw it in the garbage. And you might be being like, JB, but what if it's a bill? Hey, if it's a bill, trust me, they'll send you another one. They won't forget. They're really good with that. So if you have a bunch of stuff sitting around for weeks or months, or God forbid years, just toss it instead of trying to catch up with it because you're just going to make more excuses of delaying more time to get to it. 18, I challenge you to do this. Do not cut communication. Here's what I mean by that. I know every single person watching this right now, and I would bet my life on it, gets phone calls that they don't answer. Maybe it's a robocall. Maybe it's someone trying to sell them something and they talked to them in the past. Maybe it's a debt collector. Maybe it's a friend that really you don't want to hear from too much. Maybe it's someone just talks too much. Whatever it is, you're not answering that call for whatever reason. You might be getting messages on social media or a text message or emails from individuals. I don't care about auto campaigns, but from individuals that you're not answering when you can. This is terrible for you. You need to start confronting these things. Do not cut communication. Take the calls, no matter who it is. If it's someone trying to sell you something, take the call. That doesn't mean you have to accept you could turn it down, but take the call. If it's a bill collector, take the call. If it's an annoying relative, take the call and handle the call. Oh man, people are like, how do you cold call? I'm so worried about cold calling. Well, dude, how are you supposed to be good at making calls when you suck at taking them? You can't even receive a call. How are you supposed to make the call? The reason why cold calling for so many people feels so complicated is because Complexity is to the degree you don't confront. You're not confronting your own communication flows. You don't even receive calls. When people call you, you don't actually pick up the phone. When people write you an email and it's a person writing you an email, you don't respond. When people send you a text, you're not responding to them for whatever reason. This makes you weak. It messes up your integrity, and it makes you very bad at your ability to generate leads. Because how are you supposed to call other people when you are not able to receive calls? That's how low your ability to confront is. If you can't confront that, how are now you're going to go step into the realm of confronting on the outside? It's impossible. Do not cut any communication. Whenever someone wants to reach out to you, you take the call and you handle it. You don't want to get a call from them? Ask them not to call you anymore. By the way, the best people at handling objections are the best ones at giving them. They literally will say, well, look, I listened to your pitch. I'll be honest with you. It doesn't solve a problem for me, and I can't make sense out of buying this product. Do me a favor. Don't call me back. Thank you. That's it. Just handle it. You don't even got to be rude. You just got to be able to handle the stuff that you do. So keep that in mind as you're going through this process, because if you're cutting communication, you're terrible. You don't believe me that it's bad? Every buyer's agent out there has called on a listing where the other agent, the listing agent, has never called them back. That's terrible. Doesn't make sense, right? You hate it. And then what do? You duplicate. When you have a deal, you don't want to deal with someone, just don't call them back. Or you want someone to go away. So instead of telling them to go away or handling it, you just ignore them until they go away. Then when you start calling your prospects and they don't pick up the phone because they were busy, you start thinking that they don't want to talk to you. So they must be ignoring you to make you go away. That's stupid. That's stupid. Like, that's costing you millions of dollars. Have confront on everything you do. When you become good at receiving calls, you'll be good at making calls. I promise you that. Get the practice in now. Handle the rough calls you don't want to handle. Talk to the people you don't want to talk to, because then you'll get good at calling people that if you do speak to them and it goes well, you'll make money because they'll list their property with you. You have to think about this. This is extremely, extremely, extremely important. When you do this, it will change your life. I promise you, if you do these 18 things, within 24 to 48 hours, literally overnight, your confidence level will start going sky high. Your ability to actually get stuff done will go up. You are going to be shocked how fast this works. But you got to do it. You got to be disciplined. See, the problem is that everyone tries to teach everyone secret sauce and the things to do, but they don't understand that there's disciplines required for it. Today's Memorial Day. We honor men and women who served in the military. So let's talk about the military for a second, just so you can understand something. The military has, generally speaking, a majority of the people in the armed forces are young, anywhere from sometimes 17 to in their mid-20s. Yes, there's older people too in the military in their 30s, 40s, even 50s. But generally speaking, a majority of the force is in their 20s or younger. How do you take a bunch of young people with not too much life experience and train them with the most sophisticated equipment and the most sophisticated of missions, and they can go to a point and invade another country or pull off the most logistical difficulties as a piece of cake? How do you do that? It's very simple. You create an environment that becomes predictable and disciplined and good habits. When you go to the military, way before you ever put your hands on a rifle, they teach you every day. You're going to wake up at 5 a.m. You're going to brush your teeth. You're going to take a shower within 2 minutes. Your bed is always going to be made. Your boots are going to be shiny. Your clothes are going to be folded. When I talk to you, you're going to answer me loud and clearly. You're going to run. You're going to do jumping jacks. You're going to do push-ups. You're going to do pull-ups, and you're going to do it again. And you're going to wake up again tomorrow and do it again. Not to punish, but to build discipline. Because how the hell am I going to teach you to fight a war if you can't even wake up in the morning? How the hell am I going to teach you to be really good at using your rifle when you can't even use your head? You don't even know where your stuff is. The reason why they make sure this is where your socks are, this is where your clothes are, is because when you're at war, you need to make sure you know where everything is. You're developing the good habits so you can train them to be effective. That's what this is. These 18 things I gave you is exactly what that is. The ability to be disciplined. This is your basic training. You don't do this, you're going to be bad with a firearm. And in business and in real estate, your firearm is the phone, the negotiation, the marketing. That is the actual specialization, but you can't get there without your discipline. If you're not doing this, it's costing you millions of dollars, and there's no sales technique you're going to learn that's going to save you. Because if you took everyone who went to the military and just gave them rifles without going through the basic training and getting them disciplined and having them being able to understand and do things the right way before you hand them that rifle, then you wouldn't win anything. That's what separates a professional military from a bunch of rebels driving around in pickup trucks. You tell me who's better and more equipped. It's the disciplined people, and that's the difference between a top producing agent and everyone else. So you got to decide, as an agent, are you a professional soldier or are you just a rebel? Are you just like this guy militiaman running around? Because most agents are. They don't have any of the disciplines. They have none of the trainings. Professional excuse makers that get lucky or pay Zillow for some deals. That's not you. You are a mega agent in the making. You are going to do something big of yourself. Forget about making your family proud. Be proud of yourself too. And they'll be proud of you. Don't just work hard to make other people proud. It'll be an amazing experience when you look in the mirror and you're proud of yourself. When you do these disciplines, I can promise you, as of 24 hours later to 48 hours later, not only will you feel good, with confidence, you will know you make up the 1%, because only 1% of people do this every single day. And that's what I wish for you. That's the future of this business. The people that do this will flourish and prosper, and the ones who don't will eventually run out of steam. You will eventually run out of steam. I don't care. You can have a good year. You can have a good month. You can have a good few years. But at the end of the day, it will always end the wrong way unless you're doing this. If you don't believe me, just look at the best of the best, and you'll see every single time these are the traits they have. I wanted to give you something that doesn't require you to be talented. I want to give you something that doesn't require you to be special. This is the no bullshit, straight up, how to be successful. These 18 things will change your life immediately. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to hear me out today. It's always a pleasure and a privilege. And Gary and Shaun, you guys are always awesome to be around. So thanks for having me on.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, JB.
17 gems.
Definitely. I love pick up the phones. I'm guilty of it. So picking up that phone, if you can't receive, how the hell are you going to give good phone calls, right? I like that one. I think everybody can take something.
Follow up.
Yeah. 100%. I agree. Now, JB, I know they can always reach out to you. I had the number scrolling on the bottom. Coming out of this, are you doing like training classes? Are you do coaching? Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about what you're doing over there.
Sure. So, I mean, what I do is I have a vast range of stuff. So, I have something as simple as group coaching. Like, I'm doing something really cool right now since the pandemic started, called the Real Estate Mentor Group. The mentor group has been really doing well, and agents that want to learn more about that can reach out to me. It's a session every single week. You're in a private group. There's a lot of people you can bounce ideas off of. Yep. You can really get gains off of that. So that's a great way to get started. All the way up to custom tailored one-on-one coaching, or media production build outs. So like it basically, like, we can start and scale it out bigger. But I would recommend for any agents on this stream, to inquire about that. Reach out to me below. I'll reach out to you personally, and shoot me a text. I'll reach out to you personally and tell you all the information about it.
That's good. Good. And I know, Shaun, you've been working with JB for a while, so and bringing different agents that you think that may fit his.
Everybody loves his classes. I mean, I hear nothing but the best feedback from everything he does. I mean, I'm very, very happy to be.
Are you getting his audio? I don't hear him.
Yes. Breaking up,
Is
Shaun.
it me?
Oh, yeah. Now I got you.
Okay. So I was saying I get great feedback from all of the client, all the realtors, agents that go to JB's classes. I mean, yeah, as you can see, he always drops great information, and it's even better when you join his private group, because you'll get so much more. This is just a little teaser of what he gives.
All right, guys. I know everybody had some Memorial Day. I know everybody has things to do. I do thank everybody for coming out, watching. We're going to replay this the next 3 Sundays. I'm going to replay this probably in the evening times on the Sunday nights. So we can have watch parties and replay it out. So in case you missed it, and have the YouTube links out there as well. JB, thank you. Shaun, I know everybody has family to go to. Thank you so much, guys.
Get in touch with me. Any more questions, anything like that, definitely get in touch with me.
Thank you, guys. Take it easy.